now we've been up north. Let's come back south. And so we will go to Fayetteville State University. I know you got a chance to talk with Coach out there and just talk about, what is going on with Coach Miller and the FSU cheer squad.
Yes, so of course it was amazing to talk to Coach Miller, who is coach of Cheer by Smoov, aka the FSU Bronco cheerleaders, and just to hear her story. She has so much historical knowledge and just shared so much of her history and how she came into coaching the team. And she was actually coached when I was cheering, and so to be able to kind of connect with her and have that kind of commonality between us was really great, and it really drove a great conversation. And I know everybody knows that just like the woo woos, FSU has a very distinct style that is all their own, and I know that they are going to bring the fun and the excitement to their routine. So I would love for y'all to hear what Coach Miller had to say. All right, and thank you so much for joining us for our Return to the Stage segment. And for this interview, I'm super excited to be speaking with none other than Dr. Lawanda Miller, aka Coach Miller, from the Fayetteville State University. Coach Miller, introduce yourself. Tell us everything that you do for Fayetteville State. And let's just talk about cheerleading and the CIAA tournament that's coming up.
Okay, well, I'm excited to be a part of this HBCU Game Day program. Again, my name is Lawanda Miller, and depending on the generation that started with me, they call me Ms. Miller, which is MZ Miller. And then later on, the next generation knew me as Dr. Miller, and they say Dr. Mill, Dr. Miller, or what have you. Dr. Miller, clap, clap. But nevertheless, my most visible role is the head cheerleading coach at Fayetteville State University. Behind the scenes, my hats include being the assistant athletics director for business affairs. I'm the senior woman administrator. I'm also the deputy Title IX coordinator and the SAC advisor, which is our student athlete advisory committee that consists of student leaders in all of our sports. So I have a privilege to work with all our student athletes firsthand, and it's just a great experience. It makes every day just exciting and spontaneous.
So it's safe to say that Dr. Miller loves her some Fayetteville State University athletics. It's safe to say that, right?
It's safe to say that.
That is
I'm also an alum too.
So, and there you have it. So the first question that I really want to get into with you is, what is your cheer story like from, growing up to now as a coach? Just kind of tell me your cheer story and what really inspired you or pushed you to want to be a cheer coach, and specifically the cheer coach at Fayetteville State.
Well, I couldn't see myself coaching any place else, and that's just period, as they say, any place else. Okay, and how I started is I was a very young lady when I was employed at the university. So I started off working in the chancellor's office, but just like having a lifetime goal of health and fitness, I used to go to the gym. So after work, I go to the gym, do a couple laps, play racquetball, and daily, I would see the cheerleaders, and here and there, I'd end up in some of their laps, what have you. But just throughout the course of time, and I started working at the university in '94. Through the course of time of just practicing and here and there, I ended up becoming familiar with the group because we evidently practice and work out about the same time. But around '98, the coach at that time ended up being the staff person on our floor, same floor. And so we actually would go over about the same time. And while I would end up working out, and then nevertheless, a day or two, she ended up, like, I'm not able to come since you're at the gym. Do you mind working with the girls or overseeing the girls? And I'm like, well, sure, I'll be there anyway. And so that ended up being a day or two of relationship, a week or so. And then that just ended up ballooning to a volunteering as her assistant for about a year. Then this staff person ended up getting a position some place else, and I was the person that was closest to the group. The athletics director said, "Do you mind just kind of taking over the group?" And that was like maybe a January before the February CIAA. So
Wow.
that was like thrown into the fire quick.
Oh,
But
yeah.
98, 99 was my start as the head coach right before that CIAA, but a year before that or so, I was a volunteer coach assistant.
That's so awesome to hear. And so you've seen the CIAA through so many different changes, location changes, and them moving the headquarters to Charlotte. So you've seen it all. And we had talked about this prior, but just kind of talk about your thoughts on like the state of CIAA cheer and just the things that you've seen in your tenure as head coach.
Okay, well, I've certainly seen the growth and have been really privileged to work with so many of what I call the legends in the programs of what the CIAA is really known for, starting back in those late 90s. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I was very young, not much older than the group I was working with. And the chancellor at that time, his name was Dr. McLeod. He was from Virginia. And he said, "Lawanda, don't embarrass me. And if nothing else, make me proud and make yourself known like that lady in Virginia State, Dr. Johnson." Okay. So she doesn't know that per se, but she does know through my beginning years, she became a phone call away. She was a mentor, she was a friend, and shucks, she started the program when I was born or before. Okay, so I'm going to say through my years, I've had great mentors and relationships with the coaches. And with that being said, actually going to school, because I was still an undergrad, through my graduate program, had professors who even let me use the program as research and studies and projects, and knew how, and that's when I learned about and really made it a serious research case study about branding and marketing. And so I was able to use that as a business major, and I got my undergrad and my graduate degree at Fayetteville State in the MBA program. And a lot of my case studies was permitted to see how to brand the program and give it a niche. But the mystique, the legacy building, the brand building has all fall into place to where it is now, where girls, guys, they come to the university based on the cheerleading program.
Exactly.
And that's what I think is so magnificent about CIAA, and cheerleading in itself is how outside of the sport, you are certainly a recruiter for your school. And I am 100% sure that not just with my program, but with other programs, that the people on your team came to your school because they wanted to make that cheerleading team. And their decision was made at the CIAA on Saturday, that Super Saturday.
Yes, I can totally agree with what you said there. I remember being 11 in Raleigh and, seeing my alma mater perform and just being blown away and saying, okay, if it's ever in the cards, I would love to do that. And then, things happen, and there I was in that same position on that same floor. So I completely agree with you there. And just speaking of exhibition, you and I both know that as you're preparing for exhibition, the performance, it can be very grueling, it can be exhausting, it could even be frustrating, trying to make sure that you're putting your best routine out there on the floor. So I guess my question for you is, as you and your team prepare to return to the stage, how have you been able to keep them motivated and keep them on track and just trying to help them get across that finish line? Can you kind of speak to that?
Sure. For starters, again, the exhibition and everything around it has its own unique legacies and characteristics that I believe anyone would want to bottle it and if they could, because the girls, guys who participate in this the program, they go out there with the goal of making a name for their school, their selves, their family, the university, and the conference. And they do that for not a trophy, not a dollar, not a banner that will show their success for participation, but they give it everything they have. And having this unique post-COVID group of kids, I'm going to say for me, it's been a different assignment of how the CIAA is now titled, has a theme of creating new legacies. For me on the team, it has been a molding history, teaching assignment on schools, assignment on ourselves.
Well, yeah.
They just kind of missed it. Some of the mystique and just learning lessons, and they don't have the benefit of all your seniors. Like I have had none,
Oh, wow.
just freshmen and sophomores who don't have anyone to say they've done it before, besides maybe a semester before COVID. That has been the super challenge of coming back to know ourselves. So to me, I think that has been the challenge of getting back to ourselves and learning who we are and who we're not. Also, we're not that school.
And, yeah.
And everyone coming from their different backgrounds in high schools, and then nevertheless, it's been a challenge to just rebuild the knowledge of who we are with a very, very young crew who didn't have anyone before them. But they also do have the benefit now that, again, with the virtual settings and the benefit of technology of still learning and meeting virtually in addition to our physical in-person practices and starting to learn more. So now they know that if it's going to be, it's up to me. So now they're building up for the challenge. We only got you get a call from what we call founders of our new Cheer5 when I started, because I just started a whole different kind of branding. If Misha Cameron calls, and everybody knows number 5, respect, and her daughter, call her 5 squared respectable, because that was my first captain and and captain daughter team. They just call, how you doing? Everybody's like, we're good, we're working on it. And then it's like, okay, today is bring your snacks, because they're checking on us. They know they have a legacy that they need to make proud. And again, right now, shucks, after this interview, we'll be on the court making use of our gym and, working on something that's going to make everyone proud of themselves and the program and all of those who come before them. And we stand on what we call 3 legs, past, present, and future. And they're like, ooh, they know they have a big job. So my job is to build the motivation, corral the enthusiasm, and then hope and put out the best product we have.
Yeah, that's so awesome to hear. And you touched on it a little bit about my next question, but we know that CIAA routines are coveted and confidential and top secret until the day of when the actual performance happens. But without giving away too many details, is there anything that you can share about your team's routine that you're excited for the crowd to see, or you're excited for FSU fans to see?
Okay, well, we love to say that we always put on an entertaining show. Okay, and so without giving it away, I'm going to say to all the ones who get the benefit of watching this program to know that think pop culture.
Okay.
I'm going to say think Fayetteville. We
Okay.
all know
Okay.
that because we're going out of state. We're going to Baltimore.
Right. So you got to rep.
You got to represent. And think, I hope it's okay to say that, we put numbers kind of lottery and we're last. I don't know if
Oh,
that's okay to say, but we're
okay.
last. So that means we
Okay.
got to leave something on the stage.
Exactly.
So I'm going to say, think, leave something on the stage.
Okay.
Think pop culture.
Okay.
Think fun.
Okay.
And for this program, as far as the Bronco cheerleading program, for me, if I don't leave anything else as a stamp on the program, I want to say that we put the cheer in cheerleading,
Okay.
which means a little crowd involvement and fun. So
Okay.
despite the school, despite the institution, despite your alma mater, whomever you rep, you're gonna have fun
I love
with
that.
this.
I
Okay,
love
so
that.
that's my goal. That's my goal.
I absolutely love that. And I love that that is the messaging that you're trying to relay, especially with everything everybody's been through with the pandemic. And, there's been a lot of loss, a lot of despair. So the fact that you and your team are bringing the fun to this performance is exciting to hear. So I'm excited to see what y'all bring forth. I know a lot of times with CIAA cheerleading, well, let's take a step back. With HBCU cheerleading and just the stereotype of Black cheer. But then if we even go a layer deeper with CIAA cheerleading, there are all these misconceptions and misunderstandings, and we get stereotyped in so many different ways. And so I would love to hear from you. What is one thing that you like to tell people that have those misconceptions and those misunderstandings about CIAA cheer?
Okay, absolutely. I think that's such an important topic because I believe 100% believe what CIAA cheerleading is when someone asks that they got to see sassiness, hips, hair, flair, attitude, and confidence. And often that might be misinterpreted as proud as I am to represent my school, my team, my own uniqueness, that it may come off as I also do not like the opponent, so much so that that we have a divide. But that is, and that comes from those of us who have watched CIAA cheerleading from Hello Cheers to Battle Cheers, and because that's what added the pop to the game. What made you say I come to the game for the cheerleaders despite the score, because of that thing that we could do.
Right.
But I mean, we have worked so hard and have hopefully put forth another side of us with that, starting that unity cheer, to let people know what they didn't know. In the background, our coaches is like, where do you get your uniforms from? Well, who can you go when you don't have that size? Last tournament, I can say, shucks, that was probably one of the most stressful ones for me. That who knew? No one would know. I can say, coach, and it was my obligation as an officer to get on the stage, but I just couldn't. I had seniors who need this, girl who hyperventilating here, and I mean, it was just so many things. I can say, coach, I cannot get out on that stage. Can you do this for me? Sure. What else you need? Someone else. I'm like, coach, somebody saying, Lawanda, you something's wrong. I say, I just need a hug. Girl, she gives you a hug. Coach give you a hug. Other one, I got you. I'll do it all. Okay, you don't even have to get up there. We are there for each other like no one else. All CIAA presentations, 3 schools sent to another school. Can you do mine? Okay, that nowhere in the land does that happen. I know.
Yeah.
And I have had the privilege to judge the MEAC competition. And I never was so uptight in all of my life. And I did it a couple years. And judges, you're sequestered from the coaches because you don't want them to get to you, And then the coaches, you in your section, and that is it. Don't come in my area, CI. we're swag surfing. Go to the left, go to the right. I got you. You know which way we're going, and everybody
Right.
just look back at each other. Let's all go to the right, and
Just having a good time.
we really have a great time, and we represent our schools like no other. We want to leave it on the floor that no matter who lost, went home, the cheerleaders held it down because we're the last things left, regardless. So that's how we go. I mean, we got to win something, okay? And then there's no really a win or lose. But the fact is, again, I noticed whereas there was some differences on how it should be judged, differences of opinion, that may, for some, just they're not able to see like why you go so hard and you don't get a first or second place, or they don't see like as a coach, why would you continue? You have no banner. I mean, you don't have a banner to put up in the gym. And that's kind of tough if you want to build a resume. Look at, a couple of us, here 20 years later, we don't have a banner up. But if you ask me, I've been second place, been third place, been first place. I've been a bunch of places, what have you. And some years we got to reinvent because maybe that was the year. Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
But that backyard talk is just as strong as that trophy.
Yeah.
I'd say, but again, that mystique and how we can work together behind the scenes is something I'm sure it just doesn't happen any place else. And having the opportunity to note the difference, I say, you know what? Because I will admit, I was on the bandwagon of you got to build your resume. We need to be able to have the girls be able to put something on the shelf too, to be able to show that they participated. And again, I mean, we need to be able to help ourselves build our own resumes just besides participation. I was really on that kick too. But I will say, once being able to serve in another capacity in the other division, I said, if I had to compare the two, I'll choose where I am, because we enjoy the hard work that we do, and we have a great reward feeling afterward. It's not argumentative. We're not trying to go get the judges. I mean, with judges, we have security to take us in and out,
Yeah.
And we're hugging afterward. Do you need a tissue? And so I say, you know what, I'm gonna take that, and however it runs, flows after that. I know I don't prefer the other. So CIAA is fantastic, and I believe that from the bottom of my heart. So that's why I look forward to each year, and again, look forward to being able to put my part in how we're going to build a new legacy.
Yeah, for sure. And you spoke to the unity and camaraderie, and like you said, behind the scenes, people don't know. Like, I still stay connected with, some Cheer 5 Smoov from when we were, we cheered during the same year. And so, like you said, a lot of people think because of the style of cheer and the way we show pride, it, like you said, it can be misconstrued to, be aggressive or sowing division. And that's just not the case, I think. And like you kind of spoke to, there's an unspoken kind of understanding where it's like, I know you're going hard for your school, I'm going hard for my school. At the end of the day, it's all love. And so I appreciate you saying that. Well, before we wrap up the interview, is there anything else you'd like to share? Any words of encouragement? Anything you want to share?
Well, I would invite all to come out to this Super Saturday. The CIAA tournament in general. I mean, I think it's been, I think the number is like 700 and so many days since
the last
tournament. Had a tournament and come together. So I invite all to be a part of the excitement, be a part of the newness, be a part of the first, and don't hear about it, see about it, and be firsthand. We invite you all to support us all, and just help this year be better than ever. I think it is important, being that we're HBCUs. This is the oldest Black tournament. We have hate, we have threats, we have a bigger portion of what we have in front of us, and what we can make this more than any other year in this nation, I believe.
Oh,
if
yeah.
we can, pull this off, we'll be making a better statement of the camaraderie between all of the institutions that we're going to succeed. We have friends, it's not about hate. It's about the love. It's about the legacy. It's about the history. It's been since the Civil War. You kept us down, but we're up. Like I said, we're up, we're popping fingers, we're up, and having everyone come and support us on this first comeback is going to be big.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Miller, for offering that. And so I just have one last question for you. Can I get an attitude check?
Bronco pride.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miller. I am wishing you and your team all the best as you perform next Saturday. I know you all are going to leave it all on the floor. So I cannot wait, and have an amazing day and all the best. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for having me.